We have to stop with the wokeness attack. So Pierre Poilievre is a friend of mine. He wore my hoodie in Ottawa. This is a great story, right? So he wore the hoodie in Ottawa, and that very day, Funky Benjoko and a bunch of giant black chicks from Fort McMurray, friends of mine, were doing an African dance thing. And she's phoned me, Robbie, I need hoodies. Now, I know what that means. It means more free hoodies, right? So I'm like, Funky, I'm busy. No, we're doing a dance number, right? So anyway, I under protest, I go to this Fort McMurray African Society, and all these girls, and they're all taking my hoodies, and they're dancing in them, right? And then all of a sudden, my phone blows up. Pierre Poilievre wore your hoodie in Ottawa. And I'm like, oh my God, cool. Well, no, it's not. Now you're a white supremacist. And I'm like, what? Like, you can call me many things. Like, I am definitely not going to stand here and win Monk of the Month. Okay, that's for sure. But I'm like, white supremacist, right? So I do a little digging, and the Carleton Liberal Association labeled our organization a white supremacist organization. Based on what? Because the logo's like a fist, right? Well, you can make that argument. That fist is used in multiple organizations, from unions to Black Lives Matters, all of them. And the reason we stuck with it, and I take a little heat for that once in a while, but I stand by it. It unites us as the workers, the benefits, the business owners, and it gives us, like, we matter. Oil and gas jobs matter. So I stuck with that. But I was like, oh, thank you, Funky. So I rushed down, made sure to get a photo with my black friends all dancing in my hoodie. I'm like, and I posted it. And thankfully, the guy had to resign for that horrible allegation. And I respect Pierre Poilievre for having the balls to stand up for Fort McMurray in Ottawa when there could have been some political consequences for him. And I also think Alberta's collectively, we need to cut a little more slack to our premier. The other day when they talked about the whole chemtrail thing, and I watched that, whichever side people are, and I'm not going to examine that, but what I will say, she listens to whoever is speaking to her and shows them dignity, she shows them respect, and she takes the time not to mansplain like Trudeau. She hears them out. And that's why we have one of the greatest premiers in Canadian history. So, as an older 47-year-old gay guy, I've been called a racist, misogynist, white supremacist, I was called a homophobe too. Yeah, that was crazy. Well, the other day, like, what the hell? Okay, what do these letters even mean? Like, seriously, like, it's gone too far. I had an angry straight soccer mom tell me I'm not gay enough the other day. I'm like, what? And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not gay enough? Well, you don't really care anymore. I mean, seriously, see, and this is where the whole movement has gone, right? If the letters don't make sense to me, they don't make sense to anybody. Starbucks doesn't do their marketing like that, and neither should the homos. You got to make time, and here's where the movement's gone too far, and I'll say this today, because actually I might take some heat for this, but I don't care. I got Sheila, she'll post a video or something, it'll be fine. Here's the problem with the whole pride movement right now. Back in the day when I was from Saskatoon in the 90s and I was gay, and it was a different time. The gay bashing was a sport. It was and you had to fight for your basic rights. I believe all of us have the same right to exist and live our lives as long as they're not hurting anybody. And that's all that my generation ever wanted. We didn't want to pose on anyone else. We just wanted to enjoy ourselves, sneak Sheila to the gay bar, make her uncomfortable, go call it a day. Right? We did that in Toronto. So that's basically all we wanted. But when rights become, it's not about equal rights anymore, it's not about equality, it's about special rights and imposing. That's where the line is. And I think that's where we need to have a real discussion now. We need to have an honest discussion about, and that's why I love Danielle Smith. I like a lot of what she's doing right now. I support it because it's a common sense approach. But families should have the right to manage their families, and no one's business should be in that family, and I stand by that. So cancel culture is something, back to Pierre Poilievre wearing the hoodie. I think that is something that we really, really need to fight. And we also need to show each other a little more, what did you mean by that? A lot of politicians make statements, and we, the consumer, on all sides, are not questioning what they mean. Like, for instance, I just saw this thing with Trump. Who wants Trump to win? I was very fortunate. We were in Toronto and Donald Trump Jr. spoke. I was very happy to be part of that event. And I'm a huge, here's something I think Elon Musk has saved freedom of speech for this country. I recently did a commercial for a car dealership I do the marketing for, and they wanted me to do an electric car, and I drew the line. I'm like, there's no way. I am not doing a walk around on an electric car, like an electric Hummer, saying how great this is. Like, I will be crucified. So I refused. You know, I'm not a fan of Tesla, but I'm a huge, you got to give him credit. He's saved, think about this. The head, that doofus from the other billionaire not as rich as Elon with the beard, he's crazy. The former owner of Twitter, what was his name? Yeah, Jack Dorsey. Well, he's a doofus. But long story short, he banned a sitting president from being able to be online. And Elon Musk took a huge financial hit, his own money, to save. Elon hasn't banned anybody. He has the other side on there. Obama's still tweeting, and Kamala and all that, and he protected us. Like, I'm not a fan of Tesla, but I'm a huge fan of that because that is what we need. That stops us from this weird tyranny that we have with Justin Trudeau right now. I know so many small media companies. I'm lucky because Oil and Gas World, and by the way, follow me on Facebook, Oil and Gas World, and then Twitter. I suck on Twitter. I'm always having to go to Sheila. Hey, Sheila, can you re-X this for me? She always does. I probably annoy her, especially it's like 2 a.m. But one of the things that I'm lucky, because on Facebook I'm quite strong, but I know so many small media companies that are done. Trudeau destroyed the ability. So he gave CBC billions. He gave mainstream media billions and billions of millions of dollars, and yet he banned little guys from their platform. And I know so many small media companies that have been destroyed by this. This is a danger of Trudeau. Like, he talks about being a feminist, but I mean, you tell me one female who survived has gone against him. Joni Ray Wilson, Pat Philippot, Jane Philippot, sorry. Everybody done. And, you know, Christina Freeland's next. And, I mean, and look what he tried to do to our lovely Tamara. Throw her in jail. How long were you in jail for? 48 days. Now, I'm sure, like, I've been around you. You probably ran that jail, right? You were definitely the boss. They were dropping smokes and chocolates. I know, you know. Like, I watched you work out. I wouldn't mess with you. But what a cruel thing to do to an Indigenous woman who just was standing up for all of us. And, you know, like, I'm fully vaxxed, right? And I'm going to go somewhere that I don't typically go. But and this is going to sound like a conspiracy, so I'm not saying that I have any medical proof of this, but I know a lot of people my age that have dropped dead of heart attacks. I'm on 10 in the last few years. My cousin recently, you know, just done. And I'm not saying yay or nay or vaccines did that or not, but the ability to question and make your own body autonomy decision, I think that is what happened that day. I think the entire world took a second and said, whoa, whoa, whoa. And a lot of what they were saying, it was sort of like they were kind of ab limited as they went along. Do this, don't do that. This is safe. This is not safe. And your group, you know, you exposed that on a lay that no one else. That is probably the biggest thing in Canadian history. That type of respect that is gained is something that very, very few people can achieve. It's the type of, like, if you look through, like, Louis Riel, right? He achieved that. At the time when he was Hun, he was the worst thing on the planet. Nelson Mandela. There's a few. You're on the same level, and I truly believe history will look poorly upon Trudeau as this bizarre, narcissistic, used to be hot, not hot, kind of hot, wants to be hot, gay, straight, not straight, who knows? I mean, he would definitely knock out a gay bar if he walked in there because we could not peg him. Like, never mind the whole bathroom issue, like, drag queen, not drag queen, up, down, what? But mind you, like, if you think about it, like, I have seen him in a cowboy outfit, so, you know, he has the whole village people in one.
Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. Members get instant access to all of our shows, invitations to exclusive events, and access to our premium content like live event footage and documentaries you won't see anywhere else. Only Rebel News Plus members can join the conversation by participating in the comments section of our new website. That way you can have your say too. More than anything, though, you'll be able to take pride in supporting real, honest journalism, and you'll help our talented team continue to do the work to push back on the establishment. We really can use your help. We need it, in fact. So thank you, and enjoy Rebel News Plus.